You are looking live westbound in Ozark out there towards the Loves. You can see the trees starting to move around. We've got that gust front moving through and strong to severe storms about to move through the Ozark and the Clarksville area. These are dropping in north to south. And man, are they hauling or what? I mean, this stuff was just in Fayetteville and Springdale. It's already in Clark. I can't even drive from Fayetteville to Clarksville that fast. These are moving southeast about 45 to 50 miles an hour. Of course, they don't have to deal with people driving slow in the left lane, but it is moving south and moving really quick. And I think that severe thunderstorm threat is going to continue. We do have the warnings. What I thought was interesting, though, is if you look at the outflow boundary here, first of all, let me back out first. See the front? It's draped across. That's why we're getting this stuff. More stuff is going to develop in Kansas tonight and move south. That's like 2, 3 in the morning. But after this, we'll catch a little bit of a break. So Fort Smith, guys, you get the outflow boundary coming through. You're going to have a cool down. Thank goodness, because the temperature outside is miserable. Right now, well, it's down to 75 in Springdale. That's nice. Fort Smith, we're down to a nice and cool 99 degrees, and Russellville's 91. The heat index right now in Fort Smith is 114. Gross. Okay, so this storm's going to move through, and when that happens, it's going to drop things down. And even though you're not going to get the bulk of the storm, you're going to get the outflow boundary. You can see the outflow boundary. It's that little line here. This is cool air that's pushing out of the storm down towards the south. So you're probably not going to get the rainfall in Fort Smith and Van Buren like they're going to get in Ozark and Clarksville, but you're going to get the cool air as a byproduct of those storms. So nice, huh? Get a little bit cooler out there this evening. I don't know if cool is the right word, but temperatures are going to get a little bit lower. Meanwhile, we have that gust front that just plowed through Ozark. That's the one I was just watching here. You can see it now. Um, Pretty much overhead. The storm's going to be moving in here soon. The trees on the left are really shaking and moving. Same with on the right side of the screen. There have been pockets within this that have been upwards of about 60 miles an hour as it moved through northwest Arkansas. And I think what's going to happen is you'll have additional pockets of some very strong winds that occur underneath some of the more intense cells. And there's also going to be a little bit of hail. I don't think it's going to get too huge, probably quarter size or less. But we did have some hail as well, and it's pockets. Not everybody's going to see this. It's not widespread, but if you're underneath one of the stronger storms, sure, you're going to have some pretty nasty storms to contend with. There's that outflow boundary now moving through Altus and Denning as well as Coal Hill. Looks like it's moving. Where is that? Right over Cloverleaf, where we had all that terrible wind, which took the power out for us. I guess a couple nights ago. Had so many storms lately. We're gonna have more tonight too. It's nice to see that outflow though, because it really cools things down, even if you don't get the rainfall. So it's nice to get a little bit of cloud cover to cool things down. I wanted to see if I could show you. It looks like the outflow is moving through Van Buren right now. That's out there towards 70, or I guess that'd be Arena Road is what we're looking at, looking east. Yeah, so the high school will be on the right side of the screen there. But we got that outflow boundary that's moving in. That's going to cool things down a lot from just north of Muldrow to Fort Smith near I-40, right over the 540 bridge, and then moving south through the whole town of Fort Smith. That's going to be nice. That's going to cool that heat index, that ridiculous 114 heat index down quite a bit. It should bring us down to like the mid 90s, which will feel pretty cool considering what we've been dealing with. This is east from the Arkansas River Bridge at 540 here. Looks like the outflow is hitting it right now. No rain, but you can see some of those showers on the right side. Those are the ones that are out there by Ozark. And if you look real close at the river, you can see those ripples on the river. Let's try that again. Ripples on the river from the northwest to the southeast with that outflow boundary. It's moving through. Okay, so there it is lined up here, and let's get down to the nitty gritty of these storms. We've got them in Mulberry. They just moved into the town from the north near exit 24. That's Center Point Road and Miller Branch Place and Miller Branch Bend north of Mulberry, and then you get into Pleasant Hill, and we're starting to see some of the stronger storms there. It doesn't look as intense as it did earlier. Just by looking at the lightning strikes, it's not as much here in Ozark as it was in Fayetteville or Bentonville. Out west of Hector, though, and near Bullfrog Valley, I've never been there. It looks fun. That's 164, and it's really coming down there. That's Hull Road, south of 164 and northeast of Clarksville. So this stuff is going to get closer to Russellville. The stuff we have moving in now, though, really doesn't appear to be that bad at all compared to earlier. Let's double check this and look for the wind, though. It is a severe storm. There is a severe thunderstorm warning on it. Here's the outflow boundary. You can see it running away when I loop it. See it? That green pushing south. That is cool air spilling out of the storm. That's the best part about these summer storms is even if you're not right underneath it, you still get the cool air from being near to the summer storm. This stuff kind of looks like garbage here near Alma and northwest of Rudy. Probably coming down pretty good, but it doesn't look like there's much at all in the way of rainfall. There's Dean, it says Dean's Market. I think it's Dean Springs Road running east though. And then out towards Graphic and Pleasant Hill near Mulberry. Ozark, hey, it's starting to pick up in Ozark. It's a little more intense there on the north side of the interstate now. That's along County Road 507 and Catterbury Road, which runs east and west from Ozark. You get the outflow boundary first, and then the storms will follow in suit just behind that. So they move in real quick there on the north side of town. Wonder what it looks like in Ozark. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, rain's starting to pick up a bit. That's looking westbound, so we're kind of looking into the stronger part of the storm out in the distance. What that is? Oh, line trucks. They're probably hey, these guys are probably fixing your power, guys, in Fort Smith. There's about 3 or 4 of them there. Boy, those linemen. To see one or no one, tell them thanks. It's no fun to be out there in a 114-degree heat index and try to repair a power line. I know some of you still might be without power, but a lot of it came back on thanks to those um, guys and gals who were out there working on it. So Ozark now, we have the showers and storms that are still moving through. You can see those bands of rain. I was looking at it on the camera. Look on the left side of the screen there. See those little waves moving down the street? Some of those wind gusts could be anywhere from 50 to 60 miles an hour. I haven't seen any over 70 yet. That is on the warning bulletin from the Weather Service. But so far, I think the highest was about 65. That was at XNA. Probably caused at least a few power outages in the area as it moved on through. I was going to see if I could figure out how many there were out across the country right now. Not country, county. See if we can find out here. I think a lot of this stuff has been restored from those storms earlier. Let's see here. Let's try this real quick here. Maybe, maybe not. I'll try to pull this up on the camera. It may work, it may not work. It may break it. We'll see. Oh, there it is. It's not a live camera, but it looks like you got about 3,800 out of power in Washington County. Benton County's got 2,500, and Madison's got 355. I'm not sure how much of these are recent or how much of these occurred yesterday. Ew, look down here. Well, that's only 1,700. They're yellow. I guess it's in proportion to the county size. Regardless, 3,800 people in Washington County and 2,500 in Benton County. That's a lot of folks without power, and a lot of that is due to the storms that moved through last night. Um, those were intense, especially in Fort Smith. You know, was it last night? I think it was the night before last. I don't know. It all kind of runs together. But what really surprised me about the storm that as it moved through Fort Smith was watching the observations because the observations for an hour never got below, I think it was 37 miles an hour, but it was like between 50 and 60 for a good 30 minutes there. I mean, it was a lot of heavy wind that moved through, and that's what shut out all the power for a lot of folks in Fort Smith and Van Buren. Thankfully, that's a lot of that's been restored thanks to those linemen and the trucks that you just saw that were looks like they were headed back down towards the east. Looks like the outflow boundary is moving into Coal Hill. Let's look live. There you are. Oh, yeah, we're right in the thick of it. Oh, this is going to be fun to watch. This is looking eastbound. I'm going to take a look at the radar. You know, I need to make a graphic that has the cameras and the radar in one. Maybe I'll work on that this week. But there they are. That's really coming into Coal Hill now. On radar, let's see what this looks like, and I'll go back to the camera. Looks like it's the first push of the gusty winds that are moving into Coal Hill. That's what it looks like there. There's what it looks like in real time as it moves on in. You can kind of see it a little bit wider here. See the little band north to south from Clarksville. South Clarksville is getting hit pretty hard too right now. But again, that's out towards Coal Hill. That wind could gust 50, 60 miles an hour. It's still not slowing folks down on I-40. To the west, it looks ho-hum. I don't really see anything that's that impressive. I say that. And looks like, yeah. So new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. They actually have included the severe thunderstorm warning for the greater Fort Smith and Van Buren area. We'll see. I don't know if the whole county needs to be under warning, but they didn't issue it. Here's where it is on radar. And I'm going to put this in motion, loop it for you guys. I guess the thought is that this outflow boundary may unzip the atmosphere and allow more storms to fire up. Right now, there's nothing severe What the issue on this bulletin? Sorry, this is real time. I'm just curious. They've got it for Franklin, Crawford, Sebastian till 8:15. They're saying 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So the winds have come down, moving south at 40. Radar indicated. So we're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Fort Smith and in Greenwood, but a lot of that is going to be that outflow boundary that's coming through. That's that little line. The severe thunderstorms look worse to me east of Clarksville, frankly, north of Dover, near Highway 7 and 164 out there. That's going to be along, where are we at here road wise? Lindsay Hill Road, I guess, east of that, north of Pleasant Valley and north of Piney, north of Russellville. That's a lot stronger. This looks like garbage right now. It's very unorganized, and other than the forward momentum, I suppose, of that outflow boundary, it's going to be tough to get widespread wind damage from anything collapsing out of it, at least right now, anyway. Although we do have some strong gusts. I mean, the Welcome Center in Van Buren looks pretty cool. You can see looking east at the leading edge of that shelf cloud. That's that low hanging cloud. A lot of times people get those confused with wall clouds, especially in the summertime. But this is cool air moving out. It's the good air. It's not the warm air going up. That's the bad air. That's where the tornadoes are. But the outflow boundary's already moved through Van Buren. Looks like it's moving into um, Fort Smith and Greenwood here shortly. But it doesn't look like there's that much wind with it. Let's look at analysts. I'll get a little closer on this thing. It's like 0.75 recorded hail. That was Prairie Grove. I saw some of y'all's comments in between these cut-ins on Facebook too, reporting some hail. Let's see here. Let me go back over to, let's do base velocity first. There's that. Oh, it looks like it gusted out, didn't it? Kind of a weakening trend. Oh, maybe that's why they did it. Do you guys see this like bright green here that moved from the northeast to the southwest? It broke off, didn't it? I know it's part of the outflow boundary, but there may be enough lift there to not only cause some wind damage, but also potentially kick out some new storms too. So maybe that's what it is. Winds are actually pretty strong out there over Barling right now with that gust front that's moving through. There's no storm with it, but there is a really nasty little gust front that's kicking across Barling. I wonder if we can get in on that area. I've got Phoenix looking north. It doesn't look that cool. Rogers Avenue looking north, blah. 71 looking south, no. How about Jenny Lind looking north? Doesn't look like we got good eyes on this thing. Even going down to 271, there's just not really any cameras that are out there that really do it justice here. Maybe that's kind of cool. So this is South 4th Street, exit 3, coming over the Arkansas River. And you can see the outflow boundary. That's the cloud cover. So that's the leading edge of that cool air that's coming in, the rain cooled air. It's going to have a lot of low hanging clouds. Sometimes we call them scud too. You can see those clouds rising into the leading edge there. And that actually will be new updrafts, which get pushed back to the south should they develop into thunderstorms. But heck, right now, it's more of an outflow boundary that's moving through as opposed to thunderstorms. Here it is again. That drops things quite a bit. I wonder if it shows up yet. Nope, heat index still 114. I guess it'll update at the top of the hour. But that outflow boundary is going to shut down some of that gross heat that's out there. Trying to see where this is surging. Kind of looks like Clarksville to me. Let's look at wind speeds, base velocity. Base velocity is not picking up on it yet. It really caught my eye is just how fast. Watch this out towards Harmony. Watch how fast it jumps forward. It moves forward pretty quick here. It tells me there's some stronger wind speeds. Plus, it's the outflow boundary is connected to the storm. That also is usually a good indication that there's some higher wind speeds going on. That would be out towards pretty much Clarksville, maybe Lamar. Let's see here. If we can take you out that way, or at least on Crawford Street. This is looking east from exit 58. Not that impressive, but you can see the wind on the right side of the screen from all the trees moving around. The rain hasn't hit yet. Boy, this is on the cusp of it though. That rain is coming. I mean, it is right behind this thing. Back over to the radar in Clarksville. You can see it here, heaviest on the west side of town. May even be a little bit of hail within that too. I think just north of Hartman as you get into Clarksville. Exit 55 in Clarksville, just back to the west, it has already hit. That's what we're seeing on radar. And there it is looking eastbound. So looking into the storm as it starts to push in. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like exit 55. You can see all the rain sheets, curtains moving in on the right side of the screen. Boy, that's some heavy wind there. Wind gusts have been recorded. By the way, look on the left side. See all the tree branches or tree leaves falling on the street? Yeah, there's a lot of wind there. Headlights really illuminating it there on the left side traffic. Got a lot of branches blowing around. Wind speeds are probably going to be on the order of about 50 to 60 miles an hour at the most with this storm. Haven't seen any recorded gusts over 70. Hear more trees flying around, tree branches. Let's just watch this for a second. I'll go back and forth between this and radar. But this is moving into Clarksville right now. And look at that. Look at all the leaves. I mean, this thing is just plucking them left and right here. That is looking east as the storm moves into Clarksville. For our friends in Clarksville, I'll jump back real quick. Here's where it is. It's on the west side of town moving in. That's what it looks like. I'm also going to pull up on the other camera shot here, or sorry, the other radar. Let's look at that's actually the strongest one that's out there right now is this storm. Here's what it looks like. So these are the storms again dropping in north to south here, and you can see it really kind of much darker red colors moving into Clarksville, and that's this storm. Watching it live near exit 55 with leaves getting plucked off the trees and thrown around. There's some more. A lot of wind in this thing, huh? Guess we'll be able to see the wind gusts here a little bit later and see what it actually topped out at. But heavy rainfall, heavy wind. This is along West Clark Road. I'm not sure if that's Dax Clark Road. Do they have a street named after Dax yet in Clarksville? Probably not. Mainly because there's not one named after me in Alma. But just saying, um, it's a joke. No hateful emails. Woodland 103 North. That's going to be where are we? County Road 3340 and County Road 3330. Take you back to radar. If I see anything pop up on that camera, I'll bring you back to you. Here's a wide view. Got some stuff south of Alma too. I think that gets closer to Charleston coming up. Let's see here. I wonder if exit 57 is getting it in Clarksville. Yep, it's just starting to move in. So the first push there from west to east. Now here's the second push in Clarksville. This is the strongest storm that's out here right now, other than the one north of Russellville, but at least for our area. This is looking east, so the storm's coming in from behind us. In Clarksville, north of Union City, I see the strongest one here. That's still County Road 3340. In the Clarksville area, pretty much right over exit 57, which is where we are here. So that should pick up a little bit more with those stronger winds moving in out towards Jamestown, East Poplar, East Cherry Street, South Roger Street. That's going to be moving over Pine Street and Maple. Every town names their streets after trees. Wildwood Drive, Tanglewood Drive, Sherwood Plaza, and Briarwood Lane. You guys are right along 103, and that's what we're looking at here. That's what it looks like on radar. There's a wide view and a loop of it. See it moving in. Big push. And check velocity real quick, and then I'm going to go to analyst. Let's see here. Velocity shows us some of those stronger winds north of Lamar there. Let's go to analyst. Got one over Kibler popped up, and one over Dover. I'll show you this in this thing is just flying. Boy, look how that thing surged east over Clarksville. Wow. Talk about outflow dominant with that cool air. That's a nasty little guy right there. Let's see here. We'll recalibrate this real quick. And I'll do it one more time. Trying to isolate the strongest winds north of Clarksville, looks like. Again, that's exit 55 and 57. 57 looks like that. There's also some stronger winds just northwest of Dover, though, right along the Pope and Johnson County line. It's really strong in that area. I'm talking about this here. There's also some, sorry, this right there. There's also some hail just north of there too. And a lot of times, if you see see how there's red and green next to each other. So what you're looking at here is some kind of microburst that's going on or downburst. So you've got like you have the red colors moving away from the radar, green moving towards. So they're spreading out, which means the air's coming straight down and then fanning out in both directions. So probably some kind of wind damage going on here along the Pope and Johnson County line. I also see a big gust of wind here too, north northeast of Knoxville that's moving through. Let's see if we can find some of the streets underneath this thing. Go back to reflectivity first. Boy, the lightning. Good grief. Y'all out there around Bullfrog Valley and Strawberry and Hillcrest and Rockwall Heights. Man, that's coming down. Let's go to velocity. Let's go to base. I think base is going to show it better. That's reflectivity, Lewis. Get it together. There we go. Right in here. So that's going to be Jake's Creek Road. That's pretty much where some of the strongest winds are happening now, is around Jake's Creek Road. Wide view. I'm watching this one south of Alma. Looks like it picked up. Outflow boundary just moved through Fort Smith, so it's going to be getting cooler with lower temperatures. Let's see if it updated yet. Nope, still says a heat index of 114. Gross. That's out there at exit 57, looking eastbound in Ozark. And there's what it looks like on radar. Sorry, that's Clarksville, not Ozark. Strongest in Clarksville. This stuff to the west is pretty loud with a lot of wind, but it's not till you get to Clarksville, London, and Russellville where this stuff is super duper coming down. Let that scan clear us here. We'll see what it looks like. We may even go farther down to exit 58 and see what's going on in Clarksville since this is basically moving right down the highway. Let's see. Uh-oh. Going a little slow on me. I may have broke it. That's what happens when you got a homebrew camera set up. Let's see here. Is it back up? Bingo. There you go. Eastbound. Oh my goodness. Yep. Starting to hit. That's that third exit in Clarksville. So if you're driving to Little Rock, it's like 1, 2, 3. This is the third one down out there by the car dealerships. And man, it's moving super slow there. This is the leading edge. This is probably some of the stronger winds that Clarksville is going to see at that third exit. That's look here a little closer here. Bring it to you on the camera shot. There you go. Here's Clarksville and Lamar. So right there on the east side is where this is. And it looks like, yep, new severe thunderstorm warning. This one also, that's part of that same cell, which is not surprising at all. Clarksville, Russellville under the severe thunderstorm warning with this. The storm is just now hitting I-40 in Clarksville on the east side of town. The new warning is this one. Let's see. Back to another source here. I'm just trying to see what this wind's doing inside this thing. This thing's moving more southeast than anything else. Let's go back to, hang on, bear with me just one sec here. Calibrate this southeast now, since that's the storm motion instead of south. There we go. Yeah, right there. So this pixel here, man, that's really cranking. That's close to about 50 to 60 miles an hour southwest of Lamar. Looks like the worst wind is east of Clarksville. Again, look, you can see the red and the greens next to each other, indicating a microburst. We got another one up here too, just northeast of town, and another one farther to the northeast. So you got a couple of them going on. Again, what's happening is it's the cold air that's pushing down and out of the storm. Is that freezing up on me? Yeah, pushing down like that. Probably should reboot this. I'll do it in a second after we finish up talking. So there it is. Let's see how this is trended. Man, that thing really raced southeast, didn't it? Looks like it may have merged with another outflow boundary. See that one that's coming in from the north right there? Back it up a little bit. Yeah, see a little line right there? Looks like it merged with that one. Strongest winds are between Clarksville and Lamar right now, and they're dropping southeast out towards Knoxville. I can take a look at Lamar, exit 64, looking westbound now. Hasn't hit here, but it's coming. You can see the trees starting to wave, maybe some rain picking up, but heavier wind and rain are out there on the horizon. Should be moving through here real quick. It looks like it's past the worst. I think is over within Clarksville, but it's just now beginning here in Lamar. And what's interesting about this is if you guys look to the west, see how the can you make out the looks like you can see the rain moving in. It's the rain curtain. It's going to get blurrier and blurrier straight ahead, and then eventually it's going to be right over the camera. So it's coming into the trees now, and then that's looking westbound. So that's westbound traffic. The folks coming at you with the headlights on are the ones that just drove through it. The ones with the red lights are driving right into it. See how the trees are starting to disappear in the distance? That's the heavy rain as it moves into Lamar with that lightning as well. And I imagine we're probably going to see more of those tree leaves and branches flying around here any second now. The strongest part of this storm, they've got this moving southeast at 20. It's faster than that, but pretty closer to about 40 or 45 miles an hour based on its track. But this is out towards Lamar, and here comes the rain. You guys saw it. I mean, we had great visibility not even, 20, 30 seconds ago. Now, the lightning's moving in, visibility is dropping. This is the gust front. You're watching it live as it um, moves through Lamar. And again, that's looking to the west. To give you a feel for where this is on radar, let me show you. Let's see. There's Lamar in the center of the screen near Knoxville. Clarksville's still getting hit pretty hard too on the south side of town. A little bit in Lavaca. See what I mean? Like, I'm not really sure about that warning. Unless it's just gust front related. None of that's going to get into Fort Smith or Greenwood, at least based on what we got now. But it's coming into Lamar. Now we can't see anything. Isn't that fascinating to watch how fast this is moving? Look how dark that thing got. All the lightning out there. That is real time as it moves in. This is the strongest winds of the storm. And that's moving. It's what just moved through Clarksville, moving through Lamar and Knoxville, en route to London, Russellville, and Dardanelle. Man, that's a lot of lightning, huh? Again, this is what it looks like there on radar. Another wide view of this thing. Oh, there's a wind report. Where's that? Emergency manager, Franklin County. Numerous trees down relayed by county emergency management. Time estimated by radar at 7:25. That's 2 northwest of Watalula. So got some trees down there on, I think that's going to be 23 that runs up north of Ozark, up there towards the Pig Trail. It's definitely had some wind damage there. In Lavaca, we got a storm over us, but um, blah. There's not much to that other than some rainfall. The heaviest stuff just moved through Clarksville and is pretty much over Lamar, moving east to Knoxville. Guys, we're going to get more tonight. It's going to come from up here. We'll have a break now until about 2 or 3 in the morning, though, and then it should start to pick back up. I don't think Fort Smith gets any of this other than the outflow boundary, unless something pops up, and it could. I mean, seriously, it could. But um, the trend right now, this thing's kind of congealing, and I mean, just racing southeast. Looks like it's the cold pool's really organizing here. This is going to get down into central Arkansas, just west of or near Perryville here coming up, and Casa near Danville and Ola out towards Hollis. It's really going to be ripping south then. It's almost like it's racing now, isn't it? Look how it's all caught up together. And I think it's all on. Yeah, the outflow boundary hasn't even outpaced it yet. So that is a heavy duty storm that's over us here from Lamar out through Knoxville. That's near exit 64, I think. We can look at 67, about a couple miles down the road, looking west and into the storm. And that line is just now starting to move in. Of course, that's looking right at it. Loud, huh? The amount of lightning and thunder in that thing the other night was crazy. We had all kinds. I mean, the thing was supercharged with lightning. It seemed like it was nonstop. I'm gonna head down to mile marker 69, looking eastbound. This is out there towards Dardanelle, and look at the waves out there. Boy, that's a lot of wind. That's that gust front that's moving in now. This is going to be moving into Dardanelle. I know we have rain in Russellville now, but more of that's coming in from the west. The strong part hasn't even got to Russellville yet, and it may not. It looks like it's more towards Knoxville and especially Lamar. I bet if we go back to that Lamar camera that's farther west, it looks terrible, and you probably can't see anything. That 64 camera. You can see some stuff. Heavy wind and rain along that line, it looks like, with some of the heavier stuff out ahead of it in Knoxville now. Yeah, very low visibility in Knoxville. That's looking west, so it's essentially right over us. I mean, if you look at the radar, see it? There's Knoxville, pink colors, all the rest, and then velocity. Actually, the strongest winds are just south of here. Very tiny, south of Knoxville. There's that microburst signature again. See the red and the greens? It's actually moving faster here south of town. Boy, that visibility just drops though with that stuff. Lightning too. That may be the strongest one out there right now. Yeah, I think it is. That's pushing south. Delaware is going to get hit by that next. So heavy wind and rain on that guy. Another storm report. This is in Dyer. Power lines blown down in Dyer. Emergency manager reporting that. That happened at 7:30. So that was just moments ago. Wow. It's kind of crazy, huh? Wind doesn't even look that bad on radar. Must have been a really tight pocket there, some wind. And perhaps that's why they issued the warning. I mean, they've got that outflow boundary. It's going. Has the temperature dropped in Fort Smith? It probably hasn't because they update every hour, but I'm going to check it anyway. It has. The heat index is only 94. How cold. And it looks like, let's see here. What's the actual air temperature? Oh my goodness, it's 87. The air temperature is down to 87 in Fort Smith. It is nice. I think we were over 100 today. I saw 100 officially, but I'm not sure if it was over 100. Might have been right at. I bet it was like 101 or 102. All that recent rainfall actually keeps temperatures down a little bit. Moist air is a lot harder to reach that 100 degrees. All right, so wide view again of these storms dropping southeast. Here's a loop of it. These are all moving south. We got more on the way tonight, about 2 or 3 in the morning, that's going to be moving through. But as it stands now, the heaviest storm is pretty much right over Lamar, and Clarksville's still getting it, but it's letting up. It's more towards Lamar and London as well as Delaware. The lightning has been nonstop. Probably some trees go down out of this, and some of you guys are going to lose power too, unfortunately. But the worst of it, at least right now, it doesn't look like it gets into Fort Smith at all. The outflow boundary moved through. Lavaca, we had some thunder, but most of it's east. It looks like some blue flashes there on the camera. I was trying to decide whether or not that was lightning or power lines. And usually, if you get a little bit of a blue hue to it, it's probably a transformer that's blowing up. So I think we probably do have damaging winds going on in Lamar, south of Lamar, and Clarksville, and probably Delaware too, just by judging by the either the lightning strikes or the power flashes there. Pretty much lines up with the radar though, so it's probably some power lines going down with that. There's the signature for the microburst. You got red colors moving away, green colors moving towards, and this is the area of wind damage. So that's a downburst signature there. Pretty significant one too. Due south of Knoxville, looks like near Bend. Let's see. Yeah, that was the camera we were just looking at there near Knoxville. Let's see here. And go back to this one. Let's see what this looks like. This is looking west. This is looking kind of away from the storm, actually. So we're on the back edge of it. Still lots of lightning within it, though. Go back to analyst, dig in this a little bit more here. Let's look at wind speeds. There we go. Yeah, there's that signature. The strongest winds are actually south of here near Delaware. Um, but we still got some strong winds in Knoxville as well as London as this thing moves through. Wonder if that Arkansas River Morrison Bluff cam looking south shows anything on 109. 109 might be a little removed. Eh, it's looking south. Looks pretty nice right now, huh? Not gonna stay that way. Another wide view, another microburst signature up here. Heaviest looks like it's right there though. Yeah, that's wind damage. That's west of Delaware, right along 22. So here's 22, here's Delaware, probably right over Liberty, I'm thinking. I bet base velocity shows it. Yep. Nope, that's reflectivity. I've done that twice now. There you go. Yeah, there it is. So this is the microburst. It's over Lake Dardanelle and Bend. Let's see. County Road 1670. Hang on. There you go. Wide view first. Sorry, I had you on the wrong one. See it here? So if I zoom in on this, the microburst is here. Red moving away, green moving towards, wind damage right along 22. That is south of Knoxville near Delaware. The wind's moving out. You guys want to see a rainbow? Geez, I'm ADHD today. Look at the left side of the screen there. Sun's out, and got a little rainbow forming there. That's on 102, just south of Clarksville and Knoxville. Impressive sight there. But the downburst is what we're most concerned with because this is where the wind damage would be. And I think the strongest winds are along the Arkansas River near Bend right now, probably along County Road 1660. And then back to the south around New Blaine on 22. I think some of these winds are super strong along Mountain Spring Road, probably 60, 70 miles an hour, along 22, Evelyn Lane, and 197. Yeah, that's a pretty strong wind signature there. And a pretty nice looking rainbow starting to develop. It's always nice when you got the sun out and the rain in the distance, huh? You can only see part of it. So those storms will still track southeast. Let's see here. So that's south of London now, near Delaware. Guess we can load up Mill Creek. It's looking west. So this is out towards Russellville, looking into the storm. Traffic's still moving pretty good, but that storm's about to make its way into Russellville and does have that damaging wind potential in the Russellville area too. So one more wide view of this thing, and I'm going to take you back to reflectivity just so everybody can see what's going on. And I'm going to move to one more product too. So you have the cluster of storms that's dropping south along that front, right? So it's riding that front, see the blue line? And then you have the outflow boundary, which cut through Fort Smith and dropped our temperature significantly. We're only in the low 90s now, cold. So cooler temperatures in Fort Smith. Now, I'm going to change this to look at radar and satellite on a wide composite view here. So it's not as detailed. But what we're looking for tonight is another complex to develop and run south into the area. And that's going to be coming from this area farther up to the north. And that's going to drop south. So I think 2, 3 in the morning is probably the timeline for that. It depends on that shortwave that's embedded within it. But there will be another chance of picking up some storms later tonight and early in the day for tomorrow. So after this thing moves out of Clarksville, Russellville, Lamar, there's a bit of a pause. And then we get those more storms after midnight. And then the lower temperatures move in first part of the day tomorrow. I even think by Tuesday, Wednesday morning, parts of Fayetteville and Bentonville may even get in the upper 50s. That's awesome. Awesome considering how hot it's been. But that's going to be on the backside of this thing. The front's kind of stalled now, and these storms are riding that boundary, and that's why they're so strong. But overnight, these storms move through. Also going to have a wind damage threat. Tornado threat I don't see very high at all with this stuff. It's not zero. It's never zero, it seems like in Arkansas, but it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 1. The hail, I would probably put it at a 3, and the wind, I'd put it as 7 or 8. Wind damage is absolutely the highest threat with these storms that are moving in, and the threat of losing power outages and all that stuff, which is fun. Many of you have already been through that this weekend. So that's what's going on with the storms. I'll keep a close eye on it. I'll be with you overnight, and of course, you can join me back tomorrow morning too. Get our work week started off right on a Monday. It is August 18th. We're over halfway through the month as we head towards September. Kids are back in school. Hog football's coming up, and looks like fall's around the corner. And we'll finally have some fall mornings coming up this week with morning temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Something to look forward to. We'll see you guys back here a little bit later.